and welcome to the Yoga Pantry with me, Tash. I have a foam roller with me. This is just a little tip on how to relieve sciatic pain if you feel like you've got a little bit of that sciatica coming up through the buttock, or maybe there's like some tightness and you feel it coming right into the center of one of your butt cheeks. These are things that have helped me. Also, my mum, who has some pain in her legs and her hips and sometimes restless legs, when I did these things with her, she said she had the best night's sleep with no pain at all. So, it does work. If you have a foam roller, then these things are magic, coupled with tree pose. And the thing about foam rollers is people like to roll all over them and stuff, but actually, if you roll against the grain of the muscle, you're tightening up the muscle. So if you want to loosen up the muscle, you have to roll with it. So that actually requires knowing how the muscle fibers work. So our glutes, our muscle fibers, I do have a big old picture up there. It's probably, it's in frame on that one. The muscle fibers kind of come across the side. So to loosen them up, you've got to roll from side to side. You know? This kind of job here. But our hammies, they go down and you want to go this way. Now why are we rolling the legs out if the pain is up in here and refers through the back and stuff? Because it just helps us relax those muscles so that we have a better night's sleep. And also the attachments are all up in our pelvis hip region. So feel free to roll that out, even if it doesn't feel like it's doing much, or maybe it is and you're really enjoying it. And then feel free to get up onto your roller and roll out your buttocks. If you don't have a roller, then you could grab like a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball. It's going to be a little bit more intense. Just going to roll a little bit on that, just into the bits that feel a bit tight. So that's something we can do after we do our tree pose. Tree pose is a lovely one to relieve sciatica. It also opens up the hips and brings strength into our legs. Just coming to a nice, comfortable standing position and open up the feet by peeling out those toes a little bit, spread them out. And then we're going to just shift our weight, in this case, to my left leg. And if you're feeling like you're not very balanced, then come to a wall. In fact, you can even stand right up close to a wall, so you don't have to think about your balance. Bring your foot to your calf muscle, if that's kind of as far up as it goes, but try and open the leg. So try not to do your tree pose with your knee pointing forward or slightly forward. See how much you can open it. Now you'll feel the stress into that standing leg. Check your standing leg. Make sure that your foot is pointing forward and not out to the side. We want to make sure that we've got good alignment through that standing leg. Now we are lifting and lengthening and shifting our weight to one side. If you can take the leg higher, then that's even better. Go ahead and press your heel into your thigh into your heel. Whatever you do in your tree, do not place your foot on your knee, because we don't want to be shifting the energy of the knee out to the side. That's really, really not good for the knee. So up high or down low, nowhere in between. Now if you find that you're nice and balanced here, whether you're holding a doorknob or a wall, or your buttocks are just gently grazing the wall, if you are using a wall to stand against, try not to stand far away and lean into it. That's not doing anything for you. We want to get as close as we can to that wall. Maybe the heel is like maybe an inch away from the wall at most. Your butt's going to determine how far that foot is, but don't have it a foot away from the wall, an inch at most. And go ahead and take that leg up, whichever side it needs to be. If you're very confident with your balance, then let's come and stand without the wall, connecting, and you want to gaze at your drishti point. Allow the heel to plug into the ground. Now the thing with standing balances is, not only do we want to find that strength up through the core of the body, to find that sense of tadasana, that standing mountain pose, we want to connect down through the big toe ball, the big toe mound. And then we also want to draw up through the arch of the foot, but we also want to connect down through the heel of the foot as well. Think about the center of the foot and each side of the foot like a trident, a three-pronged fork connecting into the earth, and then really try and anchor down through the big toe mound. That's going to give you your balance. It's going to build strength into your ankles, and as we push our heel into our hip and our thigh and our thigh into our heel, we get to open the leg out to a nice hip opening. Now what's happening is our glutes are having to activate. Our inner thigh, our inner leg is having to activate. Our leg is drawing the energy up. The belly is held in, the ribs are gently soft and in. And there's this like cord coming up through the crown of our head, giving us lots of balance. So I can look at you and I can talk and I can move my arms around because I've set those foundations up and I'm nice and sturdy and balanced. And if you want to, you can play the whole tree thing. Bring the hands in front of the heart, raise them up, open them out, wibble them around, wobble, 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 do what you want to. Or just have your hands at your hips. If you are freestanding and you want sort of that sense of having a balancing beam, you can sometimes hold my hands out when I'm really unbalanced and I imagine I'm holding like one of those balancing beams. And that will give you balance. Stay here for a minute or 5 to 10 breaths just to activate that leg line. Breathe into it. If it's too difficult to start off with, then just work it up slowly. 2 breaths, 3 breaths, 4 breaths. Work it. Make sure you do the same on the other side. Even if the other side's not giving you grief, you don't want to start overcompensating on one side than the other. You want to balance out your hips. You want to balance out the muscles in your body. So when you're done with that, don't fall out of it. If you fall out, smile, have a giggle, try it again. But when you're releasing your pose purposefully, that's where we find safety. Shake that out and we'll go into the other side. So again, it can be just at the ankle even with the toes grazing the ground. It can be at the calf muscle or it can be higher up. And you could hold that foot and hold your waist if you wanted to. Or connect. Remember when you come high up, connect. Draw in, thigh, heel. Open out the hip, connect through the foot, make sure that foot is facing forward and not angled off to a side. That's going to mess up your alignment all the way through your body. It's going to be harder to balance. Make sure your toes aren't gripping on for dear life. It's the balls of the feet that we're connecting into, and it's the heel, that trident that we're plugging into the ground, digging into the ground. Draw up through the arch, draw up through the core of the body. Find lightness as your tree grows up. You find that lightness, you find that balance. Open the hips, feel the freedom in this. Breathe into it. And then again, 3 to 5 breaths, 5 to 10 breaths, 10 to 15 breaths, a minute. However long it feels good for you. But do it regularly. Do it when you feel that niggle, that pain, and I'm pretty sure it will go away. It works for me, works for my mum, works for the people that I've taught it to. Let me know if it works for you. And then after this, get down, roll out on the roller, and that's it. That's your sciatic relief tip. There's other things you can do for sure, but this is just something that I've found really works. Like, it's amazing. Give it a go, let me know how it works for you. Thanks for joining me. Namaste.